It's probably no surprise to anybody who knows me or who's followed me that I do truly love live albums, and it's more than just the fact that I wrote a book on Fillmore East. Actually, the first record I ever bought was Cheap Tricks at Budokan. I was in second grade or going into second grade, coming out of second grade, something like that. But I Want You to Want Me was all over the radio, and I went to the TGNY in Lake Wales, Florida. If you know, you know, and purchase that record, and it stuck with me. Live records have always been something I loved. Dad, my pops, had BB King's Live at Cook County Jail in his collection. He also had the two Johnny Cash prison records. In fact, truth be told, no shit. I used to wonder if you had to play for incarcerated people for prisoners. I used to wonder if that was the only like a special consideration or something for a live album. Now, what's really interesting to me, and really I didn't learn this until I was doing research for what became Play All Night at FillmoreEastBook.com, and I've written about this at the blog longlivetheabb.com, www.longlivetheabb.com, and talked a little bit about this there. But the issue really is many famous live rock albums, particularly in the rock era, are heavily overdubbed in the studio or are overdubbed in the studio, some heavily so. There was a running joke in the industry, the only thing live is the audience. And I can't remember if that came from the Rolling Stones' Got Live If You Want It or the Beach Boys record called Today that was their ostensible live record. But eventually, record companies hip to the fact that live records for rock audiences would also do well. And so they allowed bands to record them, and they would issue them sometimes as filler, sometimes as legit records. Certainly after At Fillmore East came out, it became more en vogue to put a record out as or a live album out as an album, or certainly was more popular. But it was very much a trend with jazz, rhythm and blues artists to put out these live records, and country artists actually too. But rock, not so much until the latter part of the 60s, early 1970s, and At Fillmore East really blew it up. But my main point is this, and I don't want you to ever forget this when you listen to that record. Everything on there is first take. There are no overdubs on that album. There are no vocal cleanups. There are no sour notes that are fixed. In fact, I don't even hear any. I'm sure there are some, but not to my ear. It's only one. Long story short, don't hear in my right ear. But that is 100% live album. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in this next video, which is a talk that I gave for a conference that was in Macon, Georgia. Everybody was sitting in Capricorn Studios, everyone but me. I was wearing that green shirt I'm wearing is a Capricorn Ringer tee. Shout out to the good folks at the Capricorn Museum there and the Capricorn Studios that are operating still in Macon. Long live the Allman Brothers Band. This album, it's important to tell each of you while you're here, is 100% completely live. Unlike a lot of other records that, live records of that time, there are zero overdubs on this record. There are two patches. They remove harmonica solo from Stormy Monday, and they patch two versions of You Don't Love Me together to make the version that is on the album. Zero overdubs. Everything you hear are the notes that the band played at the moment. And audiences responded.